Speaking of the Yorks, two people who have also been impacted by this new book are, of course, Andrew and Fergie's daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. What have friends of the princesses said about the Lowney book?
So a source that's quite close to Beatrice and Eugenie has spoken out to the Daily Beast, basically saying that within their social circles, there's a lot of sympathy for Beatrice and Eugenie. I think that people look at them and think, well, at the end of the day, they are trying to just live their lives with dignity. They've always stood by their parents, but they've also really never put much of a foot wrong in the public life. I mean, they live very kind of discreet lives. And I think that there's a lot of sympathy. And the fact is that they are collateral damage. They are forever associated with their parents because of the actions, especially of Prince Andrew and to a lesser extent Fergie. And I think that because of that, that probably has impacted maybe some of their plans. You know, we often talk on this show about could William, you know, perhaps elevate Beatrice and Eugenie as working royals in future. I think that things like this book and the constant reminder of the scandals of Prince Andrew, I think that probably will be a factor in whether they are ever able to take on a front-facing role in the royal family. But as it stands, I think there's a lot of support for them within their circle, and I don't think there's a lot of kind of blame being placed on them, but how the public sees it is another story.
Now, Freedom of Information requests have revealed that many British institutions have declined to accept free portraits of King Charles. What do you make of this? Is this a potential sign of the King's current popularity?
Well, that seemed to be the conclusion. So these Freedom of Information requests were made by the Guardian newspaper. I will just say that the Guardian is a relatively pro-republic, anti-monarchy newspaper in general, a little bit more left-leaning. And that was sort of their conclusion. They revealed in these sort of requests that the portraits that were put out after the coronation, which can be hung in public places, you know, in hospitals, organisations, the Navy, all of those types of things, institutions in the UK that do display these kinds of things, they have an option of taking a free portrait. I think they're about £130 each. So not a cheap exercise when you think about the thousands of portraits that are being produced. But reportedly, some of these organisations, less than 20% of them were putting their hand up for the portrait of Charles. So, you know, I don't think it's as simple as, well, this is a sign that maybe the monarchy is waning or interest in the king is waning. I think that there is a lot of goodwill in the UK for the king. The Guardian is probably in their editorial interest looking to make that conclusion. But it's certainly a sign, I think, that, you know, how people are interacting with the monarchy is changing. I think that maybe 50 or 100 years ago, it was a portrait on a wall. But nowadays, when we think about it, you know, the royal family has social media. They're approachable and accessible in different ways. And I think this is more a sign of that than the decline of the monarchy.
Yeah, very interesting. Reilly Sullivan, thank you so much.
Thank you.